Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Pattern vlog. We've got the 86 back from Adelaide. We're going to start pulling it apart and working out what parts we need to replace. So on the surface you can see it needs a bumper bar, a new bonnet, a guard, but we want to try and pull all those parts off and determine if there's anything more damaged underneath. So let's jump into it. Overall, the damage is about what we expected. There's a small amount more into here than we anticipated, so I had to pull that out. Fortunately, all the rest of this bar work here, all that headlight support and radiator support, that's all replaceable. You can actually get new parts from Toyota, so I can replace all of that. We're gonna need a new crash bar there, that's been compromised. So overall, it's not too bad. I don't know what that is, I'm gonna have to work out what that is, but we've lost whatever connection was on the end of that. Might be an indicator or the fog light, pretty small wires. We're pretty lucky, this is actually, here's the airbag module, the sensor. So that little barb on the end of it, if that's triggered or hit hard enough, I think it does both inertia and if you hit that little knob at the end, so that'll trigger the airbags. So the actual crash bar here has been tweaked down slightly. The chassis rail all looks straight, so once we replace that, we should be able to straighten all of that out. So we'll get some parts ordered for the front here. So we'll replace this headlight bracket. It triangulates into here. And then we need to do a small amount of repair into there. And that should have the front of the car reasonably straight. On top of that, we'll just get a new guard. Don't know if we'll be able to get one in the correct color or if we'll have to paint it, but either way, we'll get that done. Yeah, the lower control arm's pretty bent, so we need a new lower control arm. I can't see from here if the rack end's bent as well or not, so we'll have to work that out. All right, let's pull this bumper bar off and keep digging. All right, with the bumper bar off, you can sort of see that this crash bar has been pushed down here, so all of that'll be replaced, but it appears that all of the actual movement's been into the actual crash bar itself, and that the actual chassis is still straight. So fingers crossed we can just replace this crash bar and that'll all be solved. Doesn't look like the left-hand side of the car suffered any damage at all. Even the center part of the radiator support looks like there's a small tweak around that bolt there, but we should be able to bend that straight without having to replace it. So the majority of the damage is on that crash bar, so that's a $70 part to replace, so that's not a big deal at all. We'll replace all of this top radiator support and headlight support. I believe all of this can be repaired in situ without having to replace any of that material there. It's sort of pretty weak already, so we can replace that. There's 4 spot welds that hold this on into here. Drill those 4 spot welds, the rest of it's bolted on, so we can unbolt that and order those new parts. All right, the battery's got a bit of a charge in it now, so hopefully if we push the start button, the key might be in the car somewhere, we just have to find it. So windows go down, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's a key. All right. No key. So I called Toyota about a replacement key, and they said if you don't actually have a key in the first place, that they want to replace the ECU as well as the key body, and they said it could cost upwards of $4 grand, so not really a good option there. So I called an independent locksmith and he said that he could do it for about $1,000 including a genuine new key, but ideally the seller will be able to find the original key and will be in action. So until the actual key turns up, I'm going to leave the car on the trailer, because if I need to take it to the locksmith, getting it on and off the trailer with the steering lock on is just too difficult. So we'll just try and leave it on here, and hopefully in the next couple of days we'll get an answer. So I find one of the best ways to keep track of all your fasteners are these Ziploc bags. So you write your name on what component it is, put all your parts in it, seal it up, that way you can't lose them. So all your clips, fasteners, whatever you need for your bumper bar, right front bumper on it, get all those clips, chuck them in a Ziploc bag like this. That way you won't lose them, and when you go to put it back together, you know exactly what they're from. So a good way to minimize the cost on doing a rebuild like this is trying to salvage any parts you can. So while I'm doing the rebuild, all of these parts for the headlight, I won't throw this headlight away. I'll just keep it in storage and I'll see what I can salvage off it. But obviously, like the bumper bar here, there's still a good badge, there's the number plate bracket, there's all your fog light. This is like a $100 assembly here, so you want to make sure you pull all that off and use it. Don't throw anything away until you finish the rebuild. So there may be little bits and pieces you don't notice, like little clips underneath here. See the clip that holds the bumper bar on? You may forget about that. Like, that's more money you have to spend than you need. So if you've still got all of those, look, the weather seal on the top of the bumper here between the bonnet, You want to keep all of these parts, don't throw anything away, and then that way, if you still have those parts, you can cross-reference it and you can save a heap of money. Alright, we got all the damaged parts off the car except for the bonnet. We're going to leave the bonnet on so the engine stays protected while it's outside still. Got a bit of a list together, so I'm going to order some parts, but in the meantime, there's some drifting on over at Winton, so we're going to jump in the car, head over and check out some drifting.
2 hours later.
Alright, we've arrived at Winton for the Sunday of the summer Matsuri. So it looks like there's about 50 or 60 cars here, so we'll check out some of the action.
Oh, look at all the action! Oh, there's so much action! Oh, look at that action!
We're just finishing off the drifting now. Saw a bit of action, so much action. And yeah, just gonna head back. I might do a little bit more on the 86 this afternoon. Hopefully get some parts turn up in the next couple of days.
2,000 years later.
Finally got the mail. Got some parts for the 86, so got it in the shed. Get into it. It's white.
This 86 is a 2013 GTS. Myself and 2 others went into a group buy on this vehicle to set it up as a track car. It's travelled 80,000 kilometres before the previous owner crashed it into a gutter, doing some serious damage to the suspension components and quarter panel, triggering the side curtain airbag. It's listed as a write-off in Australia and cannot be registered in any state ever again. As it sits now, I've replaced the traction arms and straightened the lower control arms. It was much worse when I originally picked it up. I've already installed BC Racing coilovers and replaced the missing front bumper bar. However, there's still a list of things that need to get done to get the car set up for its first track day in a couple of weeks. I actually stumbled across the footage of the car crash on YouTube. Have a look at this. I'm going to show you all the steps in getting this car ready over the next couple of episodes, and then actually take you to the track day itself with some in-car footage and any changes that we make to the car on the day. So that's the white car. Now let's open up the mail and get into upgrading it.
So let's play what's in the box.
Oh, what's in the box?
Oh, look at this. This is not car parts. New microphone for voiceovers, post-production on the video, so Video should be a bit nicer with that guy. This should be the last part we actually need to fix this white car. Should be bag full of rags, apparently. New lower control arm, so you can probably see in the shot here, we got a heap of positive camber going on that side. Instead of opting for standard stuff, this being a track car, we're going to go for something more adjustable so we can adjust the camber in the back end of the vehicle with these lower control arms. So it's your rear sway bar, adjustable end links. We're going to go into a bit of detail about why adjustable end links are important for setting up your sway bar for the preload. So that's your rear sway bar. We've gone for a 19mm 2-point adjustable hard race sway bar. And in the front, we've gone for a tubular 25.4mm sway bars. And once again, gone for the adjustable sway bar links.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
In the next episode, I'm going to install the front sway bar and show you how to wheel align a car yourself with some basic tools. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll get some more videos online soon.